Be calling you a radical. All hands on deck, all hands on deck. So, there's a big story in New York City, that catastrophe nightmare Indian Point, which is one of my top five. It's been on my list since the 1990s, one of the most dangerous nuclear reactors in the world. Of course, Sinanoff, number one. Diablo Canyon, number two. Oyster Creek, number three. Fukushima was in my top 10. Oh, it's number one now. Well, it's already happened. But so the NRC, the Nuclear Round Cheerleaders, has gone ahead and approved the sale of the decommissioning to Holtec. San Onofre. So this is important. They're using the dry cast canisters on site. Now, this is a big story. Ben McAdams, who's the legislator here, the congressman, who's been working diligently to try to move this plan forward, nuclear waste, stop Madman Trump from nuclear weapon testing, he got beat. He sponsored the bill to protect people in southern Utah from open-air nuclear waste being dumped on them. They don't like that. He lost to Burgess Owens from where? Indian Point, right there at New York, who says he wants to, perpetuate the nuclear lie and dump it all over you. This country's fucking sick. So this is real important. So everybody says, it's going to cost $2.3 billion to decommission it, which is total bullshit. Because the only thing we got right is anti-nuclears, that we won. And I want people to understand, you think we're losing this war? It acts like we're not winning this war. Oh, we're winning. When Fukushima happened, there's 410 active nuclear reactors in this fucking world. We're down to 290 something. I did a really great, long interview with Est-ce que vous parlez français, French public radio, and even they've had it. We talked a lot about this decommissioning, this Holtec. San Onofre, people don't understand what a major event, and I'll do another video with a little better lighting in the morning. People don't understand how paramount marquee the shutdown of San Onofre was. The group of us that got that shut down, us grassrooters, has shown the way. They tried every dirty trick to block this. It was supposed to take 40 years to get this into dry cast. It's in dry. It's all done. It's done. Even with the year delay with these guys that rolled in from New Jersey and tried to block it. Now, I'm not a big fan of Holtecs, but I'll tell you what, I'll take it over letting this shit sit in spent fuel plant. So they told us 30, 40 years, gazillions, Google numbers. Do you know they come in like 30% of budget? 70% under budget. These lying fuckers. I said 40 years said you're going to decommission. Took 5. Less than that, actually, because there was a year delay. The money's set aside. All the money is set aside in funds. We got that right. We forced them to. You don't have to ink up one fucking penny. That money's already sitting there. Now, of course, you got people like fucking in Ohio stealing it. PV, fucking Jerry Brown and clan fucking stealing it. Gary gets $5 million. I do all the dirty work and he gets $5 million. Fucking the whistleblower fee, Kevin Blanche, I don't get anything. I thought we were supposed to get money. I used to get chased out of Indian Point all the time. They're evil. This is a big fucking story. So they've approved it. So Holtec's going to start on it. Oyster Creek, done. They're all done. And this, look, I understand it's not the greatest solution in the world by fucking a million times. But you keep voting the people that are trying to fucking move this forward. I hooked Mike Levy in District 49 and Ben McAdams up. I know them both personally. But Utah voted him out. Which blows my fucking mind. Burgess Owens. The bankrupt fucking dude from fucking Brooklyn who fucking doesn't have a fucking clue, doesn't have any ties to Utah, doesn't ties now. I hope he doesn't get fucking cancer. He said he's all for restarting nuclear fucking testing. Dump nuclear waste on. But these degenerate fuckers, because they're hypnotized by Operation Foxconn News. All hands on deck. This is a big fucking story. And I want people in New York. Now, this is important. I'll do another video on this tomorrow. Now, listen to me. Holtec, putting this into the dry cast containers at San Onofre was the first one. Showing that, I supported them all the way. Why? Because inside these canisters, on this fucking pad, and I know it's a fucking terrible idea, but making more of this fucking shit is 10 billion times better than sitting in those fucking spent fuel pools. These reactors were never built for it, By the way, I know for a fact, because Sam told me, he's the underground fucking floater welder, there have been holes in those pools for years leaking into the Hudson. Get it in those fucking dry casts. I mean, this is a major accomplishment. You know, and I still say, centrally locate the fucking shit. You know, Texas wants it. You know, but like I said, every time you get a congressman, we finally got a congressman that was really fighting for us to get this fucking helping us out. And they voted him out. Fucking blows my mind. Blows my fucking mind. You know, here in Utah. But this is a big story, Indian Point. So, you know, and I understand it's not the greatest fucking solution, but it's 10 million fucking times, and we proved it at Senate Offer that it can be done. And it can be done quickly. And under budget. Holtec did it way under budget. They get it, you know, and I want to say this to the workers at Senate Offer that work for Holtec that got this into canisters. Thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, they risk their fucking lives. These workers of these nuclear reactors, they're death sentences, by the way. My PhD, early PhD, proved that if you work on a nuclear reactor, that's getting cancer 16 times higher. But the people taking these out of this spent fuel and putting it into these dry cast canisters, you know what a dangerous fucking job it is? You know, thank you for risking your lives. And I mean, talk about fucking hero. You know, you fucking cops, your firemen, all that bullshit. Fucking hero. I'm so sick of this. Afghanistan, fucking these war fucking, fucking make you want to fucking throw up. No, these guys really are fucking heroes. You know, what they did at San Onofre is fucking historic. You know, myself, Gary Hedrick, and the people who leaked that footage outside of the cheating on the exchange started this domino effect. That's where this domino effect was started. Indian Point, Oyster Creek, none of these fucking monsters would have shut down if we wouldn't have fucking got that done at San Onofre. And I'm telling you what, they're all going down. All of them. And I still say, you know, you can argue with me all you want. Centrally locate it and shoot it into fucking space. That's a horrible idea. No shit. They're all, that's you know, Trump perpetuates more. Of course, riding with Biden. Fuck, what's Fukushima? So, anyway, this is a big fucking story. So, you're talking one of the worst nightmare catastrophes in human history. Fucking poisoning the water system in New York City for the Indian fucking Point. By the way, Status King Cuomo, his buddy Trump, they act like they hate each other, but the nuclear, $7.6 billion he handed the Nuclear Energy Crime Syndicate. Not million, you know, Status King Cuomo, fucking the nuclear mob. By the way, I did a little interview in Ohio today, and I said it just like this. Well, the FBI's arrested, you know, the people taking the bribes of politicians. What about in New York? What about in Utah? You know, what about all this corruption? How come they don't go after the bribers? You know, just the bribees. They don't even touch, because I guess they're afraid of the nuclear